Our Jesse Pierre is live following one of the biggest stories, not just of the day, but of the week. We have a heartbreaking update to follow. The missing woman, the search for a Charlotte mother has come to a heartbreaking end. She was found dead. And I know that Jesse Pierre has been speaking to her family and getting those updates. So Jesse, first of all, walk us through what we have learned and what are you hearing from family here?
You know, I spoke to her father and aunt and, other family members and friends, and everyone's devastated, and actually I'm holding a flyer of Frazier Baker. We were just here on Wednesday speaking to her father and best friend across the street where they were passing out flyers, where they were desperately searching for her in this area near Washington Heights. Now, if down the street this direction to the left off LaSalle, that is the gas station where she was last seen, and CMPD actually released photos of images from her inside the gas station as well as her car earlier this week. And yesterday, this direction, only about 0.2 miles away at a church off of Sanders, that is where her car was found, and she was found inside and pronounced dead. Unfortunately, as of right now, the cause of her death is still unknown, but I spoke to her father and her aunt, and they say this is devastating. However, they also say someone was arrested today. They say this is a man that Frazier was associated with, and that he was arrested earlier today. Now, we have reached out to CMPD to find out if there are any arrests or charges that they can share at this time, and are waiting to get that information confirmed. But they say that they believe this is the man who was responsible for her death. Julie?
Yeah, and Jesse, I know that this is obviously so tragic for the family, but now the kind of question of who did this and what happens now. I know that you have not heard back with any of that information from CMPD. Has the family said that CMPD has been communicating with them? Do you know anything about that?
So detectives called them earlier today to let them know about an arrest. They said that they are supposed to speak with detectives later today in the evening and so forth. So I'm sure it's going to take some while to figure out exactly what happened. Even when it comes to the cause of death, they also did not know that information as well, and that hasn't been released. From at last check, that has not been released. I think the sad thing also, outside of the loved ones that are struggling, is her 2-year-old son who is with family, and they tell me that he's just, calling for his mom, wondering where his mom is, 2 years old. And that's going to be a hard thing to figure out, the fact that he, to have to deal with the fact that he won't see his mother again. But as of right now, this is going to be probably a lot of long trial and so forth, as far as next steps in, charges and what's going to happen next in, who is responsible for her death. But as of right now, CMPD hasn't confirmed any arrests or charges at this time in Frazier's death.
I know you'll be following this very closely. We appreciate you taking the time to hop on the stream. And for those people who want to see the rest of the story, which you absolutely should, it's at 5 and 6. Jesse, thank you so much.